Hi, I'm Ashley Bullington, and you're watching the Warmup, presented by your local North Texas Geico agents in the Colony, Keller, Arlington, Flower Mound, Plano, and Mesquite. We are finally warmed back up in Texas. Seriously, it went from -1 to 72 degrees in less than 48 hours. That's some crazy weather. But playoffs are here, and this week will be insane for teams, as some are playing 3 games to make up for last week's weather. There are so many great teams that you'll be seeing in playoffs, but here's a few dark horses to keep an eye out for. The Byron Nelson boys basketball team took the 4-6A title this season and have been on a roll all year. They went 19-3 overall and 11-1 in district play. They lost to Keller in their only district loss. The Bobcats don't score a ton of points, as they only average 63 points per game, but they play solid defense as they held opponents to under 50 points 11 times. On Monday in their win against Boswell, the duo of Finley Beesjack and Jesse Oweezy combined for 41 points. This was their 17th win in the last 18 games. They played Abilene on Wednesday at Aledo. The Naaman Forest Rangers have now put together 2 great seasons back-to-back. The only reason they are considered dark horses is because for some reason they are still underestimated by opponents. But these underdogs come to play and will give the best in the state a run for their money. They finished 2nd overall in District 9-6A due to some great free throw shooting in the final seconds of their game. Octavius Hobbs helped give the Rangers the by-district win. You'll see some of those teams and many more on Inside High School Sports as basketball playoffs are heating up. These next few weeks are going to be exciting on the hardwood. Also, make sure you vote for a Hot Play of the Week poll presented by Louisiana Hot Sauce for a chance for your community to move on to compete for the Play of the Year. Here's last week's winner. The McKinney Lions basketball team has dominated this season. These Lions are on the prowl as they are making their way through the playoffs. Their fantastic play and perfect 12-0 district record earned them our local North Texas Geico Agents Team of the Week.
Well, really, just at the beginning of it, we knew that, because of COVID, things would be super different and super difficult. So really, we just had to just make the most out of every opportunity we were presented with, starting from summer and preseason, just making the most out of it because we know that nothing was guaranteed.
Yeah, this is a terrific group of guys. Everything about them, their preparation, their respect for the process, their character, off the floor. It's just been, from a coaching standpoint, it's been a real joy to watch all of this unfold. We had the anxiousness of having to deal with COVID and worrying about things that were, to a great degree out of our control. We did, what we could along the way to, put ourselves, keep ourselves safe, but you just never knew, what direction this thing was going to go. So to be able to sit here and watch these guys get through this season, and we played a really tough schedule, beat some good teams early on. Our 2 losses are the 2 top 5 teams, and they were close games. Going through a district that's as tough as ours, undefeated, it's been amazing.
I think we all just all have a good bond with each other on and off the court, and we all just want to play for each other. We think we're just unselfish. We all just want to play for each other, and just for our seniors too. We all love our seniors and stuff, so we just want the best for them at the end. So I think that just drives us to do better in games.
I think just everybody knowing their roles and what they need to do on the court, just stuff like that is really important, and that helps everybody out in their own way. Just knowing what you need to do and how you need to do it, and we just accomplish those goals and we get a dub.
We will also have a great inside story for you this week on Wingstop Inside High School Sports.
To the credit of the kids, they bought in immediately. I mean, from day one back in September when we finally did get to start back in late September, the buy-in was tremendous. And I just couldn't ask for more from these kids. They've been fantastic. They've been a pure joy to coach. And again, to their credit, when they were 0-4, they could have begun to doubt me and my system and what I was doing, but man, they hung with me, and I'll forever be indebted to them for that.
Now it's time for everyone's favorite part of the warm-up, the extra point. Guys, I showed y'all Drew Timmy's new facial hair a few weeks ago. Well, now it has its own Twitter account. Drew Timmy's handlebar mustache is trending on Twitter, and you can now have a conversation with it in the Twitterverse. Joseph Hoyt wrote a fantastic story on Lake Highlands wildcat Mohammed Shamat, who fled Syria and found refuge in high school basketball. You must go read this phenomenal story on a pretty spectacular young man. Last week we had one of the worst weeks in Texas history, but there were some bright spots as communities came together to help one another, like this Keller High School girls basketball athlete who helped a lady in her community after a pipe broke in her house. That's all we have for this episode. Follow all of Inside High School Sports social accounts to stay up to date on everything going on in the high school sports scene. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube that throughout the week will get you ready for the main event. Wingstop Inside High School Sports on NBC5 Saturday at 6:30 p.m. hosted by Pat Doney. Thanks for watching The Warm-Up presented by your local North Texas Geico agents and The Colony, Keller, Arlington, Flower Mound, Plano, and Mesquite. To get more information or a quote, go to geico.com/DFW. I'm Ashley Bullington, and I hope you're warmed up for all of the action coming at you on this week's episode of Wingstop Inside High School Sports.